us. The progress bar thingy is doing its thing, but it's very inexplicable. Oh, now it's finally doing it. Go ahead, D.
What's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get the flying fuck out of here. Back to you, Freemadoro.
That's the way, ladies and germs. Just as the man said, please be gone with thee if you are not an adult. If the rules where you are a little bit different, there's a fucking almond on the floor. That's no good. If you are required to be a little bit older to listen to cannabis content or something, I don't know, follow your local rules, please. If you are going to be beheaded by listening to cannabis content, please don't, uh, yeah, don't do that. That would make me very sad if I found out that someone was beheaded to watch or for watching this show. It's probably not worth it, to be honest, to be beheaded for this show. So please follow your local applicable rules. Do also, though, check change to live chat. I realize these are somewhat different things. Risk of beheading and then also live chat. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's all connected. Ladies and gentlemen, the live chat, I think, is a preferable chat in the YouTube chat just because it's a little bit less filtered. The comments come in the order that they're received. And we'd love to remind folks. Look at that. Love for the Plant is first in the chat, one of the moderators in the chat there. Very few moderators in the on either channel, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. I think Love for the Plant is a moderator on both. One of the main moderators, I think, actually. And ladies and gerbils, that's basically worked for a while now. Honestly, it used to be really fun when we had like all blue crew, whatever. It was kind of a rite of passage. Everyone got knighted and whatever. I still have that African spearhead that I used to knight everybody with, and it was a fun memory. And I kind of miss those sort of I don't know loosey goosey feel good days. But unfortunately, that's not possible anymore with the just depths of the internet. We'll just leave it at that. But ladies and gentlemen, there are a few blue names, but Kilowatt among them, giving us the green light, so we can, of course, finally proceed with the show. Thank you, bud. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do need a link to help on the show, those would be the people to ask for a link for, because unfortunately, folks that are very welcome on the show, like Joseph Anthony or Jones and to Grow, they could post the link, but you wouldn't be able to click it because basically it would just be YouTube filters it out, part of the YouTube filtering, actually. Although live chat wouldn't help with that, but still. If you want a link to join the show, look at that. Pip Jam's even joining us. Look at that. Definitely one of the other main moderators. So sort of new world, old world, basically the moderators right there. But ladies and gerbils, fuck was I trying to say? If you do want to hop on the show, those will be the people to ask for a link. If you want to hop on the show to join the panel, basically, please, of course, don't be a dick, don't show your dick, and don't be a lunatic. But then, of course, ask nicely for a link in the chat. We don't post it anymore because, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem worth it, frankly, to just post it openly like that in the chat. So, folks, if you want to hop on, just consider it a door knock, basically. If you haven't been on the show for a super long time, you probably still have the link. You're always welcome to ask for the link again. If you've never been on the show before, though, all it takes is just asking very nicely. We would very much encourage you to, speaking of the chat, I would very much encourage you to say hello in the chat and just catch up with everybody. There's a bunch of friendly names in the chat. Most of these folks don't really know each other all that well, so you don't have to feel like, oh my God, everyone's going to know everything about me. We'll know only what you tell us, basically. So, folks, if you live in a place where, a little bit hush hush, just don't say anything incriminating. But otherwise, feel free to say hello. Feel free to join up in the chat. We have a lot of friendly people. There's Joel. What's going on? We're going to have to talk
What?
to Northstar here about his Instagram foibles because wouldn't you know it, those fuckers. I was saying this yesterday on my show, man. Like, what year is it? I remember in 2017, 2008, the fucking Instagram was taking everybody down. Now in
There's something going on.
2025 almost.
There's something going on. As a matter of fact, when I was on my Born from the Woods account, I can punch in your name. It comes right up. When I'm on Genetic Supply, if I don't punch the entire goddamn thing in, you not pop up at all.
Huh?
So depending on what count I am on is how easy it is for me to search for other people.
Nope.
It's just no matter which way they can try to fuck you, they will no matter what.
For sure.
That's what it seems like.
A while ago now, even though I deleted the post that they blame. Well, I'll finish the thought actually before I finish the beginning of the thought. Instagram has had me filtered on like followed accounts only can see your posts or something. Basically, in other words, the only people who can even see my account are people who already know me, essentially, which is bizarre beyond all
Well,
comprehension.
finding somebody
But
you
they
know,
did
yeah.
that because I'm apparently a bad boy, right? And the reason why I'm a bad boy is because I used to have this cannabis tasting group, right? These innocuous fucking posts for me announcing like tasting group meetings, or even then some of the first shows for this channel or my bigger channel. Those posts are the posts that got reported. Nobody selling shit, nobody doing shit illegal, nothing happening. Those posts got taken, and even when the posts were deleted, taken down, archived, etc., doesn't matter. My account is still flagged because I'm a very bad man. Very, very, very bad man.
Yeah, there's
But on
something.
the bright
I
side, I
mean,
haven't had my account taken down, so I guess I'll fucking knock on wood because what the
and then
fuck?
when I put my first post back up on the new genetic supply page, I put up basically a picture of white paper with printing on it, print out from my computer of the December specials. That was taken down and flagged within 15 minutes for nudity,
Nudity.
showing penises and anuses, sexual activity, all kinds of like it's. And I was
Should
not able
start
to
a
dispute it at all.
marketing campaign. Like if you want, I don't know, if you want big old titties, get North Star Genetics or some shit. I don't even know.
I said I guess the deals were so hot they thought it was porn. I don't know.
It's just I don't understand this crap, and it's got to be I don't know. The thing is, for several years now, we've had the it's kind of a plausible deniability is the worst part about it. The part about it is that it could either be the algorithm or people reporting, or a little bit of
Yeah,
both, honestly, right? And I think honestly, it's a little bit of all three, just a disgusting mess of all three. And it's like, on the one hand, how does Instagram not realize that that's just not a beneficial practice to allow such power to these reported posts? On the other hand,
yeah.
how is their algorithm such garbage that they repeatedly take down, um, how would you put this, regular serious users? I would assume that they would want the regular serious users on there, the people with engagement and everything else. But no, they're regularly taking these people down. I don't know. I guess I'm not a Facebook
That's even further because
millionaire, so
the post I had taken down for the pornography or nudity, it said I
And
clicked the button. Why did we do this? And it says we have AI, blah blah, and they use their systems to flag these posts and recognize these pictures. I'm like, so your algorithm's just shit. You think white paper with black print is nudity? I'm like, how is they basically they're basically taking credit saying that this is their guidelines and they survey all these pictures and watch out for dangerous pictures like mine. So
love for the plan is bringing up something interesting. This was a really frustrating part of I think both YouTube and Instagram, but definitely with Instagram because I kept getting these reported posts for super innocuous shit, right? Macro photographs of cannabis trichomes. Like, what's dangerous about a macro? Like, you can find this in textbooks, right? Like, this is basically a microscope image of a cannabis trichome, right? You're not actually looking at the devil's foreskin or some shit. I don't even understand what the
yeah,
fuck was illegal about these posts, but they kept getting fucking taken down. And then when I would appeal the decision, I guess YouTube does count for this because many times I would get reported essentially by some fucking troll, basically some under bridge dwelling troll would dislike one of my videos, and for super innocuous shit, they would always say, "Oh, minute 42, 43 is where you did something." And I would scroll to that, and it would be literally D and me joking about umbrellas or some shit. I mean, just innocuous crap, right? But somehow that got reported in the algorithm, and then basically I would appeal it, essentially, right? Hoping that, God forbid, it would be looked at, right? And it would get, in many cases, manual review. The problem is that the manual review was in fucking Kenya. Because basically both Facebook and YouTube have their manual review because it's super cheap there, basically. They're English speakers, but also super low income. So that's one of the big, and Philippines is another one basically these days. Also, Philippines is super
code.
conservative, super Catholic, super conservative. Southeast Asia is always known for conservative culture, basically. Philippines is one of the most conservative. So if you get something reported and it gets sent to Kenya or
good luck.
Vietnam, there's been reports from Vietnam or the Philippines, you're gonna get denied. And sure enough, out of hand every single time, no matter what I said, this is fair use. I remember I don't know how many times St. Bernard's would say, "Hey, Fumi, you can get away with blah 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 blah," because my account kept getting reported for stuff. And he would say, well, claim fair use. And so there's actually a way to do that in YouTube, but every single time it's denied out of hand, just literally like
Hmm.
within a split second.
Yeah,
Someone,
I've been successful, arguing the fact many posts have taken down before the past. My account's been canceled 4 or 5 times, but this
wow.
last time there was no way to. I couldn't type in anything. It was like I basically disputed, and that was it. I couldn't actually make a case for anything. Like, hey, I'm in a legal state. I'm just posting pictures of my personal stuff. Blah blah. There was nothing like that at all. It was just all right. We'll review it, and that was it. And then it was basically in order for me to let them review it, I had to log out. Then they would review my thing. But once I logged out, I couldn't get back in. So that was the end of it.
And that's the
Uh,
thing. There's no real customer service, really. Who are you going to email at Instagram to help you out,
nothing.
right? This is the advent of, well, not even the advent. It's been 20 years fucking now, honestly.
Yeah.
But this modern American way of doing things, where it's the Silicon Valley way of doing things, where it's a multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar corporation, bigger than most of the main corporations that you can think of, bigger than GM, bigger than Ford by a fucking order of magnitude, and they have no customer service. So when you buy a Ford or a GM or whatever the fuck, there's an entire customer service network, right? It may be overpriced, of course, but there's an entire
Yeah,
network to help you with
it's
your
true.
problems. But with Google or with Facebook, fuck right off. Just get fucked. Just go away. They don't care at all. I remember a few years ago, in fact, one of the big hacks actually for people that were getting their Instagram accounts taken down. This is 4 years ago or something, probably before the pandemic even, was to get an Oculus Rift, to go buy an Oculus Rift. You could even return it afterwards, because one of the only ways to get a human Facebook customer service agent was to get the Oculus customer service, because Oculus is owned by Facebook. So if you signed up for Oculus and basically had a problem with the Oculus, they would help you with other Facebook issues because they were technically a Facebook employee. Can you believe
Right.
this stupidity that this world is? You have to buy a virtual reality goggle, even if you're going to return the fucking thing. They don't care. But that's the way to solve your problem with face. At least how many years ago? I don't know if it still is, but Jesus H Christ.
And
Ugh.
from the
I
flip
can see
side,
that getting bigger and bigger to where you're going to need the virtual reality glasses to do all kinds of different things probably in the future.
100%.
Sorry,
Yeah.
there's no in office. You can't come in here and look at the stuff. You have to put the goggles on to have a look at what you're looking to buy.
Yep. No, yeah, it's going to be a weird world where we're just basically blasted with every possible ad. Walmart just bought Vizio. I was wondering actually for a few
We're
years
going to
what
voluntarily move into the
Costco,
matrix.
pardon?
We're going to voluntarily move into the matrix here.
100%. There's an
Just never
argument
leave our
there
beds and
already
sit here and
there.
just wear a freaking
Uh,
thing on our head all day long.
Well, shit, with all the disinformation, they say basically most people these days are misinformed. So you could argue, I mean, it's not the Matrix, of course, but you could argue we're in some version of that where we're essentially willingly living in a virtual, or not a virtual, but a faulty reality kind of. Anyway, fuck was I trying to say? Oh, I lost my train of thought now. Dang it, I lost my train of thought. Ladies and
Well, check
gentlemen, if you
this
want to
out.
hop on
I
go ahead.
I'm on IC Mag now again. I was on there many years ago. I popped on there again just briefly. I got back on Roll It Up,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking about it. On Instagram, I have 30-some thousand followers, but realistically, I'm lucky if more than 400-500 people ever see anything I freaking post. I go on Roll It Up and I see there's like 5,000 active members on right now. I'm like, oh shit, these people are actually on here, all looking for cannabis stuff. So I'm not going to complain about it. So I'm actually feeling kind of like good. I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I had a lot of followers, but Instagram is not letting them see anything anyway. So if I get a place where everyone can see whatever they want to see, not worry about it, it might just be better.
It's something I've been thinking about for a long time, honestly, because my account has never really had any traction. And I've like clawed my way up with Instagram, like to 5,000 something followers or something, but it really doesn't help because, like you say, no matter when I post something, it's basically a waste of time because only the same 100 people see it, and it's always the same 100 people. It's basically the
Yeah.
same kind of close friends list that's been there for a super long time now. So never any new people, never any new, yeah, no new followers, collaborate, nothing, right? And there's basically seemingly no way to change it. Basically, I've tried to archive problematic posts. I've tried to do all kinds of stuff. Like Instagram now has an AI, right, that you can actually interrogate and ask questions. I've asked the fucking AI what to do and tried to follow up on it. Nothing. Didn't do goddamn shit, honestly, right? I did get my account slightly less flagged, I guess, because I was essentially ready to be taken down off the internet, I guess. So I guess I got it taken down off of that flag list somehow. But other than that, Oh my God, Instagram. So long story short, I've been thinking for a long time now. Gosh, there's Reddit. There's a bunch of different subreddit, and I'm talking about Reddit all the time for stupid shit, right? For photography and politics that I'm not going to talk about anymore, probably as long as I live. But people forget that basically there's micro growery, no-till growery, what craft cannabis. There's fucking craft growers alliance. I can't. There's like 15 different interesting subreddits that every day have some kind of interesting commentary. And yeah, there's a lot of misinformation and stupid shit there, of course, but you'll get the same on Instagram, right? And I guess my point is that I forget sometimes that there is actually a lot of engagement on Reddit, on what Flora was talking about, X, basically, Twitter. I kind of don't want to
Yep.
join Twitter and X, basically, because of all the fucking Nazis, but I understand why people do join it because, of course,
I've been on
cannabis.
there since 2011. I find Twitter tough. It seems to be more like people just want to chat back and forth. It's less about, check this out, what I'm doing. It's more like, what do you want to bitch about? And I want to bitch about something else, or I want to make fun of something else, or I want to ask a question. It seems, I don't know. Uh, like I said, I've been on there a long time. Of course, I used to post all my Instagram stuff to there. So now I have like years and years of posts. I have like 11,000 posts on Twitter or X that have links to Instagram, which you can't see anymore. So I'm like, well, fucking thanks a lot.
Right.
But as far as like the regular posts, that doesn't seem to pop up in people's feeds the same. It's just the way it works is different. It's more meant for like sharing news stories and shit like that. Like if I post up stuff about cannabis regulations and stuff and changing laws, you get more traction with that than you would a picture of a nice juicy bud most of the time. So it's just a different type of way they run their show there, I guess. I don't know.
It's frustrating because you find this bottleneck where there's no real solution to get out of it, or at least there's no visible solution that you can follow, right? You just have to kind of luck your way. It's like everything has to be viral now, something accidentally viral to succeed. Like, isn't there any normal path to success? Like, couldn't you just post normal content somewhere and just develop a thought that used to be quite normal in the entire history of mankind? You'd start writing
Yeah.
books or magazine articles or I don't even know, then blogs or whatever the fuck, then early on with TikToks. But now somehow you have to just literally hit the algorithm to even be seen. It's quite goddamn frustrating. Sometimes I feel like I'm an old man yelling at clouds, but even still, it's like, how the fuck you get noticed? I don't know. I've been meaning to sign up for Blue Sky. Blue Sky is one of these new. It's basically a Twitter. Well, it's not exactly a Twitter clone, but it's apparently a kind of a replacement for Twitter, basically. Um, I don't remember exactly what their cannabis policy is, but I remember a lot of folks saying good things about it. So I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll sign up for some of these things. But I do honestly want to start posting more on Reddit. And especially now that I have my new place, I'm going to be able to, first of all, God help me fix my hard drive situation that I haven't been able to fix in a year. I've had all these lost photos of my hard drives. It's not worth getting into. But then also I'm going to be able to finally set up my photo studio again, actually get like cracking on some of the content that I've been wanting to do for a super long time. So part of my thinking has been, where do I even put this content? It's been a very frustrating process. This is kind of how Instagram filters human creativity. I think at this point, basically Instagram, Facebook, and the like, I guess they're the biggest. They probably more than helping humanity harm it, honestly. Because, for example, just I'm probably one of a million people that think this way. I'm like, oh shit. If I go through the process of blah, 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 like for example, setting up macro images, it's quite a bit, it's quite intensive. Like I have to set up all this equipment that I bought, and then I have to actually set it up in a special space without any wind and all this stuff, and then go through photo stacking and all this fucking stuff, right? And then I post on Instagram and it's going to get flagged, right? Or, basically Instagram, because I've been flagged in the past, 37 people will see it, right? And 14 people will like it out of 37, which is great odds. Of course, half the people liked it, but it's like, dude, for all that trouble, you'd want a little bit more fucking action. You know what I mean? It's like, holy cannoli. Some OnlyFans chick posts a potato quality picture of her booty and gets 1 million likes, and you can't even get seen by 100 people if you post something on cannabis.
Yeah. I mean, during October, I can put up pictures of whatever. If you put something up and mention anything about politics, you get 10 times the amount of freaking hits. So it's like, oh, politics. Everyone loves politics. Now everyone gets fucking frustrated with politics. but you want to get some people to see your page, so you put something up there about it, and hopefully then you try to post again real quick. Hopefully they'll see that, follow up with it.
That's what we got to start doing. We just got to start posting controversial hashtags on our stuff. Just whatever hashtag is hot that day. If it's something on TikTok or
Yeah.
whatever, like I don't even know what's hot on TikTok. But we're just gonna have to start posting that one chick that flips everyone off and cooks. We're gonna have to basically hashtag her somehow. We're gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna search engine optimize our content by hook or by fucking crook or something. I don't even know. By the way, we should say hello to folks in the panel and in the chat as well. We got quite a few friends hanging about us. Mark Rich is in the house. Mark Rich is actually asking a question. He says, "Hey Joel, would you please talk?" Actually, doesn't say, "Would you please?" It would be nice if you said, "Would you please?" Like, "Hey Joel, talk about Liberty Hayes." I'm going to embellish Mark Rich's comment and say, "Hey Joel, would you please talk about Liberty Hayes?"
Liberty Hayes.
Apparently.
Have to look that one up.
Oh,
I don't
right
know what
on.
that is.
Well,
What's
Mark
the
Rich, tell
process?
us more about Liberty Hayes. What do you want to know about it? Who made it? Who I assumed it was probably something from him, but apparently not. While we're
Might have been
waiting,
something I just said. Might have named something years ago, but I don't have anything. I don't remember ever selling anything under the name of Liberty Hayes or anything like that.
yeah,
So
that's a good name. Mark, yeah, Mark Rich has actually said, please. So, Mark, tell us a little bit more about it. Is it something North Star worked on in the past or what? While we're waiting, Patricia Walker, welcome. Justin Bean's in the house. Who else here? J5's hanging. He says, it makes the dream work, but we smoke. Who else is hanging with us here? Nufla is hanging, doing well, man. Chores. Chores for a few hours to the next round of chores. That sounds familiar. Who else is hanging with us? Joseph Anthony, of course. Who else haven't I said hello to? Salt and CC, it's good to see you. Oh, and DGC Jeff is with us. Big Chirp as well. Feel free to hop on, folks. We don't have all that much left on the show. In fact, if nobody really hops on, we'll probably cut this one short. So do hop on if you guys want the full hour or hour and 10 minutes or whatever we normally do. D, what's going on with you, buddy? Welcome.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, chat? Just hanging out, just smoking.
cheers.
Got some hash. Hope everyone's having a great day. You're muted, Fumi.
Oh, I just noticed that. D, I was like, I was trying to make a joke about your camouflage. I was like, are you trying to hide from wild game or what? Communist revolutionaries? Shit, did you guys hear that South Korea like almost had a coup and then like 20 minutes later it was undone? It's the craziest fucking story. Did you guys hear about this like yesterday? Like the president basically
Martial
declared
law.
martial
Yeah.
law, yeah, full on, and he wasn't fucking around. It wasn't like some I wonder what happens. He literally had oh, I don't remember how much, but a decent amount of the army basically was heading into the Capitol, basically ready to take over the Capitol building. And like a couple of dudes, like just a couple of Korean citizens, basically just stood in the door and they were like, the fuck you are. And the army actually respected them and stood down and didn't storm these, like just literally just dudes, apparently, just literally some dudes. They were like, I don't want the army to storm the Capitol. That's weird. They didn't have guns or anything. They were just standing there. And then I don't remember what they call their parliament, but whatever, the parliament, the Congress, basically rushes in on subway cars, apparently, rushes in the parliament, and then overturns the presidential decree. Within 2 hours, everything's over. But it was a for real coup. It was a for real coup attempt. Anyway, good to see you, D. So it looks like D is probably hiding from the coup attempts. North Star, we didn't officially say hello. Welcome.
Howdy.
Good to see you. That was a simple one. Folks, seriously, hop on here. We're trying to have a little bit of a conversation. Difficult to do when there's not all that many folks on here. I probably did save a couple of cannabis
Google.
stories that we could talk about while we're eating. I'm sure somebody, Jeff or Bud Kilowatt or somebody would be interested in hopping on here. We would love to talk to you folks about where the fuck. For some reason, Reddit always changes the desktop user interface. I'm sure we could talk about what you guys are growing on or what you guys are. Um... Oh, this was an interesting story. Is that the only one I got here? Oh, here's two good stories. We could talk about this one too. All right. First one is from sfgate.com. This is interesting. We're always talking about these multi-state operators, right? These MSOs and the big money behind them. So when was this posted? This was posted December 2nd, 2024 by Lester Black. What a good name. How California Pot Company went from 575 million in cash to a quote debt death spiral. After flashy launch, Jay-Z's pot brand can be found. For sake, come on. Fuck off. There we go. After flashy launch, Jay-Z's pot brand can't be found on California shelves. Uh-oh. Jay-Z's cannabis brand looked timeless as soon as it launched in 2020. The billionaire rapper, legal name Sean Carter, rolled out his monogram line of luxury joint and cannabis flower with a photo shoot at the famous Frank Sinatra house in Palm Springs. Models elegantly smoked joints in front of mid-century pool furniture as if the brand had been followed or had been around for decades. Glowing profiles in GQ, Vogue, and Vanity Fair soon followed. 4 years later, it looks like this splashy celebrity cannabis brand has already disappeared. Monogram's website lists 9 retailers where it says its products are for sale, 8 in California and 1 in Arizona, but none include the brand's products on their online menus. The parent company behind Monogram, confusingly called the parent company, that's not suspicious at all. We're not a front, called the Front Company, hasn't fared any better. The conglomerate originally hit California's market with 575 million cash and plans to take over the entire industry. But after burning through $500 million, half a billion with a B, it has merged into another company, which itself appears to be in financial company. Do you know what they say the difference between a million and $1 billion is? About $1 billion.
Oh, hell of a
No, it's basically people don't remember. It's literally like, what's the difference between $1 million and $1 billion? It's basically $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this shit right here. Flashy models, some freaking high-end 70s pool. Anyway, this downfall does not surprise Seth Yakatan, whatever, however his name is. Sorry about that. Cannabis investor and advisor to many California pot companies. He told SF Gate that the parent company was spending mind-boggling amounts of money during its brief time, and that Jay-Z's pricey Monogram products failed to live up to the hype. A representative from Monogram declined to comment for the story, but it appears the brand is the latest hyped-up celebrity pop brand to wither away in California's punishing legal market. We're going to dominate, quote. Monogram's launch was one of the biggest weed business stories of 2020. Well, we actually don't have to talk about this entire story, honestly. I guess you guys get the
I got a
gist.
little bit of something to add to that too. I know this was 2000 and I want to say 18. We had a commercial property in Santa Rosa we were trying to get a dispensary opened at. And we were competing with another place in our own like condominium complex down the end. And well, we'd obviously been a cannabis company for years, and we actually had the independent board say that our application was the best written one yet. But we lost this other company, which the guy was a mechanic basically in the black market. He got the contract due to political connections in the city hall. Same time, he was offered $100,000 by Jay-Z just to walk away from his contract he got because Jay-Z was trying to buy a building like two blocks over. You can only have so many within a square footage in Santa Rosa. Like I think it was like within 1,000 square foot, with 1,000-foot distance, you can only have one dispensary or something like that was the rules. Why we couldn't be next, we couldn't have ours. The other place couldn't be there too. But Jay-Z was trying to buy a building like two lots over and put a dispensary there. But we had already put the applications in. This guy over here, competing against me, had won the application, and Jay-Z was trying to get him to scrap his application and walk away for $100,000. Not guaranteeing he's going to get it, but just throw yours away. So yeah, they were throwing money away like it was nothing. And fucking idiot never opened his shop. It didn't take the $100,000 or nothing. So he lost out big time. I don't know what his whole idea was, but I tell you what, I would have took the $100,000 and said, "Here, fuck it, you can have it. I don't want the shop." I would have gladly took the money if I would have won that because
started somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, the whole problem I had was we were going to be a dispensary that couldn't sell North Star products because North Star couldn't get a license in California. So why be a North Star shop that can't sell? It makes no sense. I had a property that I could either open a testing lab at or a dispensary, but I had no properties that I could actually vend from. I couldn't grow and distribute from. So We just sold the property anyway, but
Hmm. So frustrating. I don't know why this
yeah,
country
but
is
that's
so
basically
intent on.
he was going around trying to figure out where he could get holds of the market and was just throwing money around like crazy. I'm sure he was probably throwing buyers money for their genetics, probably, throwing money on farms, grow me this, grow me that, and just wasting it, not really doing any research into who he's working with and shit. So not a surprise.
I guess that's where that expression "nice to have money" comes from, right? Like you think to yourself, "Oh, nice to have money for nice things," but then it's also nicer to have money just to be able to throw it wherever the fuck you want. Honestly, gosh, how nice that would be just to be able to waste money on
I
projects that
think when you
never
have a lot of money and it's like investor money, it's not money you had to work and bust your ass and scrimp and save for. It's real easy to throw around. When
Yeah.
it's not money you're actually having to earn, it's money that's there for you to spend. It's probably easy to spend it
Hmm.
without regard.
So fascinating. What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say about another business basically like that, but it just literally evaporated out of my head. Um, I can't think of it right now. Oh, I guess that wasn't it, but I was gonna talk about cookies. That cookies, as much as everybody talks, and they are, of course, a gigantic player, but as much as everybody talks about their incredible cultural dominance or whatever, they seem to really struggle to actually take over. I don't know. They seem like they've opened up a few stores in Oregon. They probably make money. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how their store actually does, but it's not like they've taken over the Portland cannabis scene or something. I don't see huge lines in front of them or something. Like, honestly, I normally see the stores whenever I drive by empty, And I think there's
Mm-hmm.
only two of them in Portland. One is in, no offense to the area, because it's actually a quite nice area, really like lots of trees and stuff, but basically BFE Clackamas. And then the other one is in a pretty nice place, well, a decent location in Southeast. But like I say, both of them are pretty dead every time I drive by. So it's like, gosh, they must have thrown a lot of money at it, because I remember they paid for a cookies rep who was a really nice guy, by the way. Like, I have no criticism. Whenever meet these people, they're really very pleasant. But so the cookies rep was like a young guy, super super nice guy, but they literally paid the guy to just be a cookies presence for like 5 years before they opened the dispensary itself. Like, he would just go to all the different shows and kind of hand out cookies here and stuff. Like, that's a lot of fucking money. Holy fucking shit. Like, that guy's salary plus all the merch. People forget that merch is not somehow free. It actually costs a lot of money these days. T-shirts, stickers, you name it. They're all actually
Yeah.
quite ruthlessly expensive now. If you want any decent quality at all, and of course companies like cookies are always like they get the decent companies, right? So it's quite a ton of money to set up an employee just to basically to hand out money essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you would assume that it's worth the investment. Maybe it is. I don't know, but goodness gracious, I certainly wouldn't have that kind of money. That's for sure.
I know
Uh,
there's one in Canada or one in Toronto, that's for
uh,
sure. A cookie store.
uh.
I haven't been there yet.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe honestly, the most logical answer is that they're not even really trying to take over. They're really just basically trying to be bought out by somebody, and the more spread out
Yeah.
are, the
It
bigger
makes
the
me
number
think of
will
like
be.
the early 2000s, like the .com bust, where
Mhm.
people were evaluating how successful a website was by the number of people that went to the website and looked at it, as
Yeah,
opposed to actually if they made money at all.
yeah.
So they would be like, yeah, we're cookies. We're they're all over. We have all these followers. We have stores all over. We're so big. And we
Hmm.
lose $1 million fucking dollars every month. So I
Hmm.
don't know if that's a lot of companies that's about, scaling, try to scale yourself up and then somebody buys you at scale.
Hmm.
You do all the work of getting bigger and they just buy it and then they turn around and try to make money off of it. But I mean, cannabis business, it's anyone can fucking plant their own cannabis and grow it. There's no, like, they don't have a lock on it anywhere. There's no way they can
Yeah,
have a lock on it. I mean, even if they make it illegal to grow in every state, it's been that way for a long time. People grow anyway. So
true.
I don't see where they're going to be able to like dominate and say, all right, no one's going to be good. They're going to have to come through me. We're going to make all this money because you have to come to us to get the product. Like,
Hmm.
no one makes their own Coca-Cola, well, SodaStream and stuff, I guess. But I mean, they're still getting royalties off of that stuff. It's not, you
No,
know?
that's a good point. I mean, they literally threw people in in an office space, pound me in the ass, federal prison. Remember what Lawrence says in the fucking Office Space, like a 20-year-old movie now. They threw people in, pound you in the ass, fucking prison for a joint, for a couple of fucking
Yeah.
ounces of weed, da 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 da, and people still grew it. Right? They're not going to do that anymore. I don't think the cultural
Yeah.
Vote is going to allow people to throw people in cages for, a couple ounces of weed anymore, at least in most of the country. So that ship has sailed. You're right. So basically, all these big corporate entities,
Mhm.
they basically have very little moat, right? So if they start
Yeah.
overcharging for cannabis, if they start overcharging for hash is easy as fuck to
Mhm.
everybody says in all 50 states or whatever, in all states that are legal, basically, the dominant hash product now is no longer BHO. Like for years, all the BHO people thought that they were going to rule the world, right? Apparently, it's rosin now because everyone's talking about solventless this, solventless that. People are more and more
Mhm.
fixated on health and so on and so forth, rightfully so. And rosin, coincidentally, is actually really easy to make, right? Like you can press
Fairly
it
inexpensive to get a press. You're good to
100%.
go.
Presses have never been cheaper. They've also never been more expensive. Holy shit, when you see some of the nice ones. But you can decent presses for a couple, $300. They might break in a couple of years, but fuck me, you can press a lot of rosin in a couple of years. You can honestly, like the hair dryer method works. I've done that before. Like you can do you can do sift, you can do wash, you can do so many fucking things with hash yourself legally. Yeah, there's no moat to these companies. So, and then you can make your own edibles. Yeah. If these companies start charging $100 for a brownie, they're going to be surprised, I think, how quickly people can make their own.
Yeah.
Love for the Plant has some interesting comments, by the way. He says, Love for the Plant, by the way, is one of our resident smarty pants. He says, cookies went from super extreme growth mode, hundreds of job openings, including things to build out major infrastructure. Then all those job postings disappeared overnight. He says, I was applying for a corporate role and talking to their recruiter, and things went super dark, super quick. Things didn't go expand for them as their investors planned. Interesting. They've probably encountered some of the same problems that we hear about around the country, where these big MSOs actually fail harder than anybody else. You would assume with what's the word I'm looking for, the economies of scale, you'd assume that they would do better, but they consistently
Yeah.
done worse, which I honestly am surprised by. Like, is it a lack of uh, 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 like knowledge? Is a lack of grower skill? Like you hear all these crop failures, pest invasions, you name you. I've even heard it from a big breeding operation. We don't have to mention names, but a bunch of famous breeders in Colorado and Oklahoma that went to make their big name and partnerships fell apart because of literally spider mite infestations and stuff. Like, what is it? Are these people just not competent, or I don't understand it?
I don't know. I haven't paid a lot of attention lately, but I know the publicly traded companies when everything first went legal, when they started actually coming out and getting on the stock market as like Canadian companies that were running stuff, and you could invest in them. They were getting pretty hot for a bit, and then it kind of started really cooling off. I'm thinking they realized they have some of the biggest markets are already in the game, and the returns aren't quite there. So the expectation for this, continual growth of cannabis getting bigger and bigger and bigger is kind of fizzling out. And they're realizing, all right, we had some of the biggest, pot states already under the umbrella,
Hmm.
and it's not panning out.
Hmm.
Adding a bunch of little states, to like adding Kentucky and Indiana and Idaho and stuff. It's not going to change the ball at all as far as numbers go. You've got the biggest states in the game already. Now the movement's going to be little. So these publicly traded companies that were usually investors were dumping their money into, they wanted to get a part of this ball, are all like, "Whoa, let's calm down here because I don't seem to be that hot really." I think it's just
A really interesting
to cooling
observation.
off.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, people in Iowa
That's
also
where a lot of
smoke
the money
weed.
comes from. Jay-Z wouldn't have $500,000 if investors weren't tossing it his way. So if investors aren't ponying up the money, then they don't have the money to spend because they're not, no matter who they are, they're not dumb. They're not going to spend their own money on this shit half the time either. So,
Hmm. No, it's an interesting observation. Other than Texas, people have been talking about Texas going green for quite a long time.
yeah.
But other than that, who else could possibly really go green? New York was a really big one. But other than California and New York, like what other big population centers are really gonna, Illinois, I guess that was another big one. But yeah, you've already got
Mm-hmm.
the big ones, like what else is there? Again, Texas, Florida, I guess, but Florida's already been kind of transported. It's apparently a super dirty old boys game down there, of course, because that's Florida. But very interesting observation that basically there's no new markets. It's kind of like Apple. Like Apple's kind of run out of new markets and new products. They've been telling everybody for a few years now, we're really having a hard time finding anything that's going to be the new iPhone. And everyone's like, "Whoa, where's the new iPhone? What's next? What's next?" And they're like, We don't know. We haven't hit lightning yet, right?
Well, I think that's what the investors are looking at. They see these states that are like claiming to be these, like California, New York, and Michigan, and all like all this money they're making there, but they're like, all right, that's great, but it's really not worth our investment. It's not paying off. You're saying it's like a stock that value. Like, all right, you're not trading at 40 times value. You're not a $4 stock. You're really a $40 stock. It trades at 3 times value. That's all you're worth. And so the wallets aren't going to open up for these people anymore until they have some kind of new way to monetize it. Like I said, like we were talking about, is a small moat. They can't all of a sudden block out, oh, we're going to have 50 million new customers because they can't grow anymore in their houses because they're not allowed to. They're going to all buy it from the shops now. That's not going to happen. So,
And the only way really to get any bigger would be to buy up all the other big companies. And all
yeah.
the companies have actually really struggled with that. MedMen and a few other companies that tried to do that have really struggled. Even in Oregon, kind of the small versions of that, where, well, I guess it's not exactly the same example, but I was thinking about with La Mota, where they expanded all over the fucking state, but it's not actually the same kind of example, to be honest. Anyway. That
Like a
was
Molson Coors
dirty.
that come in and buy up like 5 or 6 of the biggest companies kind of deal.
Yeah.
And
Well, maybe
then
we'll talk
and then,
about.
then you think of how much worse can the product get then?
Oh God.
When you start getting
Never
bigger.
ask how much worse something can get. It can always get worse. It's
You'll be
frustrating.
smoking like 5-year-old bud they harvested from Central America somewhere. They imported it and it's just full of bugs and shit. Who knows?
Fucking people were just talking about this on Reddit. It's a never-ending site. It's a never-ending shift to oblivion. All right, maybe not because so I'll finish the relevant part of the story. So Blackstone Grills just apparently absorbed Weber Grills. And Blackstone was founded in
Wow.
2008 by this dude who's the CEO, and they've done extremely well. They're these flat top grills, basically. I'm sure you've seen them at Costco and everything else. Super appealing grills because they look like a pretty skookum grill. I don't know how skookum they are, but they look decent, right? They look like they're made of metal and whatever. And I've thought plenty of times about getting them. I've been wanting to do kind of the outdoor parties and
Cheesesteak grill.
whatever. Pardon? Yeah, 100% cheesesteak,
The big time
pancakes,
cheesesteak grill.
bacon, 100%.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been thinking of it like, pancake kind of
Guy.
thing. What was I trying to say? Fuck, you could make Mexican food on it. I mean, you name it, right? It's a griddle basically. Easy as you can fucking do teppanyaki. You could 100% do like Japanese food on there if you wanted to. Anyway, Hawaiian. Anyway, so no wonder they're popular, right? Well,
Yeah.
Weber grills are of course popular because they're just a really good company, actually out of Illinois. Speaking of which, and they've been making solid grills mostly in the U.S. actually for I think over 100 years. I actually just bought another grill. I've had but a few Weber grills in my life, and I just bought a green one. Actually, one of the I can't remember the model, but anyway, one of the kettles. And it's a wonderful grill. Honestly, they're not super expensive and they work super well. Well, everyone is worried that basically this kind of upstart company is going to lower the quality of Weber because Blackstone makes their shit in China. Weber makes their stuff in Illinois. Is Blackstone now going to ship all the manufacturing off to China? Probably, right? Because that's how business works. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't? So,
exactly.
I would recommend maybe hurrying up and getting a Weber grill right now before they do that. Cheers, Flora. What's going on?
Yo, I just want to stop by, say hi. That's all. I saw you
Cheers,
guys
Flora.
live.
All right, bye.
Flora, do you? I was just talking
So
about grill. Just out of curiosity, do you grill at all? Do you have a grill or a griddle?
I have a grill, but I use just charcoals. Nothing special.
I use charcoal too, but
Yeah.
charcoal's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's all I do.
right on. Um,
Nothing fancy.
why did I get started on that? Well, I guess we were talking about the cannabis companies. Well, whatever. What's going on with you, Flora?
Nothing really. Just well, a lot of things really, but nothing really. Um, kind of just
A lot of nothing.
uh, a lot of stuff I just don't want to say on the public.
Good move.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing.
How's the garden? You growing?
So that has all been chopped and curing. And then once it cures for at least like about, I don't know, 10, 15 days, then I'll try it.
Uh,
I don't like the chlorophyll taste. Some
Mm.
people I guess may like that. I personally like to let it I like 30 days like minimum before I touch it, but I know that's like a lot, asking a lot. So I'm gonna do it around 15.
Mm.
See if it's ready. If it's not ready, then it'll stay in the jars.
Yeah, I like it
But
to go a little bit still. I'm hoping I just chopped some indoor stuff I have now, some drying rack. I'm hoping to get it in the jar so I can get, like I said, like 2 weeks before Christmas. So like a Christmas morning, I have a fresh crack of something that's tasty to smoke
yeah,
on.
exactly.
That's
But
the
yeah,
plan.
it's a bunch of the Rose Lotto crosses that I grew out just to see,
Nice.
and so and the grape lotto as well, and then some of my older stuff I did like black and blue, and I don't know, it's a variety of just different stuff. Just wanted to I had to test some of the stuff, and some of the stuff was like I really liked it. I had made before that I wanted to smoke, so I grew some of the stuff I really liked.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Sorry, I was trying to browse
There's
through
other stuff
this.
going on, but I'll tell you like online, offline.
Oh, right on. Well, hopefully it's not too serious. It's difficult. How do I put this? It's difficult to keep a garden growing. It's difficult to keep a breeding program. It's people don't realize how challenging life can be to just simply get in the way, and you have to have such a stable process the entire time with basically no interruptions. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, you definitely have to dedicate the space and time, and then you gotta have not have shit come up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. And I've always noticed there's this symbiosis. I've kind of joked about it on the show, but I'm not really a woo-woo person, so I'm sure there is a logical explanation to this. But I kind of joke that my plants are psychic a little bit, and they know how I'm doing. They're not probably psychic, right? But the reality of it is that there is a symbiosis. When you're doing well as the gardener, your plants will do well as your flock, I guess. And when you're not doing all that well, you'll start to miss little details. You'll start to just not observe things properly. You'll start to bag certain day's chores entirely, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all those little things will compound, and your garden will suffer basically. So when you're not doing very well, your garden won't do very well. And I always see it when my life is difficult or when I'm stressed out or whatever else. Wouldn't you fucking know it? My garden always suffers. There's really no exceptions.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if the plant knows how you feel, but I definitely think the plant knows who you are. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like the stomata, like they're able to see. They know that you're the caregiver.
Hmm.
Like the leaves perk up. Like I don't know. It could be psychosomatic, maybe, but maybe not.
There's been quite a bit of discussion over the last few years, not only about animal intelligence. Turns out that actually there's astonishingly more animal intelligence in the world than people have been saying for many years. I grew up with my textbooks in school saying that animals were instinct machines and everything. Turns out that's not true at all. But there's quite a bit of evidence also for plants as well. Go figure that plants are aware on some level. And it's a different kind of awareness, certainly, than an elephant, obviously. But there's no indication, there's no reason to think that plants have, how do I put this? There's no reason to assume that plants have no reason to sense their environment. Like it is beneficial to sense your environment, even when you're stuck there, right? Especially when you're stuck somewhere, it's beneficial to kind of sense your environment. You can see that in the ocean. You can see sea anemones and coral and whatever else. They basically sense their environment, respond to it. Of course, those are animals, but even still, there's good reasons to assume that there are kind of plant sensing pathways, right? I mean, we don't have to go down the woo-woo path and say the plant knows your name or some shit, right? But
Yeah,
there we can keep that option open, right? We can kind of allow the speculation without kind of absorbing it or something. I don't know. So, anyway,
yeah,
what do we got here in the chat? Bud Kilowatt is saying Bud Kilowatt likes the small Weber barbecue, and that's the Smoky Joe. I love the Smoky Joe. Nicest thing about the Smoky Joe is that I think there's no easier way to make like a really smoky steak and quickly. Like it's literally like this little hibachi basically, and you can fill it up with just like a little bit of freaking charcoal, and you can make dinner in a half hour for yourself or for two people. I've made as much as maybe like you're not going to cook four steaks on it, but you could cook like I don't know, maybe chicken wings, for example, or chicken breasts you could cook, or yeah, probably chicken wings and thighs you could cook for like four people, but it is literally like a 12-inch grill or something, so it's tiny. But you'd be amazed taking it to the beach, taking it camping, stuff like that. That's a wonderful little grill. I highly recommend them. But Well, ladies and germs, maybe we'll call it here in a little bit. Been a fun show, actually. By the way, North Star, if we can help you rebuild your accounts in any way, Flora, I don't know if you knew too, but North Star got his accounts taken down on Instagram. What are your new accounts or the new old accounts or whatever?
Well, I don't have a North Star one back up yet. I have just a genetic supply with an underscore at the end back up there. Um, I'm debating putting North Star back up. I don't know. I'm kind of just pissed off about the whole thing still. I mean, it was literally like well over 10 years. Like I said, like over 12,000 posts I had up there.
Is there
And they were
no?
fucking with me where I couldn't even get back in to download my stuff to save any of it or nothing. So I kind of just lost everything.
Did they tell you why?
No,
I mean, there's got to
it
be
was
some
just
way. There's got to be
taken
some
down.
way to. There's got to be a way to recover it.
And
Well,
I'm
I
just
was able to
wondering,
download and recover my genetic supply posts, but the North Star posts, I couldn't remember my password to get back in. And the page I was on to where I could recover it wouldn't let me. I had to log out in order to dispute. And if I logged out, then I couldn't get my password. It'd be a pain in the butt where I couldn't basically download the content I had on there. And the thing that really sucks is I just got done deleting. I must have been 1,000 pictures off my phone that were in an Instagram folder like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, let's get rid of all these pictures. Like, fuck.
That sucks.
So, yeah, I've been working on cleaning stuff out anyway. So this is like a hard reset. Like it's refresh and,
Yeah.
not worry about it. Like I said, and what I'm back on rolling up again. So I started posting stuff on there. I've been on Twitter/X since 2011. I started actually posting on there again. I just signed back up on IC Mag, so it's actually maybe I'll take a different route, and sometimes a new path is a more fun journey to go. It's more exploring and figuring
Yeah,
things out
sure.
again instead of getting into a rut of just scrolling through IG and just kind of melting my brain with that.
And the most
ah,
frustrating part of IG is the constant need to somehow reinvent a wheel that doesn't need to be reinvented, right? Like they're just
Yeah.
constantly breaking it just to break it, just to see what happens for their own benefit, not for ours. And then we have to reinvent what the fuck we're gonna now suddenly have to post reels. Next, what are we gonna have to sing and dance and fucking show our underpants? Like, what is this crap? It's just supposed to be a
Oh,
fucking social network, right?
sign up for threads. Sign up for threads. I'm like, I don't want to sign up for threads. Stop harassing me.
100%.
Sign up for threads. I kept
Seriously.
hitting that all the time. Like, leave
Yeah.
me alone.
Yeah, like I'm already on your app. I don't want to be on another one of your apps. Suck my ass,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to be here already. Jesus H Christ. Yeah. So I've been hoping for a new social network for a long time now, basically hoping that something would maybe supplant fucking IG, right? And there's been a few of these. We talked about what yesterday they were talking about Burner's social network and so on, but none of those really took off. Same thing with the cannabis community. What was it called? Um
yeah,
I didn't like that one.
the
neither
fuck, I
did
can't
I.
think of the name right now.
No, that one that you had the guy on. I didn't like that one. I thought it
Cannabis.
sucked.
I can't think of the name. Why can't I think of the name? Cannabis? No,
Cannabis,
Cannabis.
yeah.
Cannabis. It's still around, but yeah, it was a little bit of a frustrating process. Uh, they tried. You know, what can I tell you? I can't criticize them, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
just the user interface was garbage.
hmm, yeah, what can you do? But anyway, so well, we'll see. I'm hopeful maybe for this blue sky. One of these days I'll finally sign up for it, hopefully. But yeah, I don't know. And
I don't know.
actually,
I think
that's
that
a
I think
great
Blue Sky is
idea.
going to be censorship.
You think so?
Yeah, because it seems to be very politically motivated.
Okay. Well, too much to hope for. Well, maybe I'll spend more time on freaking Roll It Up. I used to love forums, that's so like
Yeah,
2006, 2008, right? We could go
Roll It
back
Up
to that.
was good back in
Yeah.
the day. Of course, I
I
was using
started
like
back
weird
way
weird
back.
names
Hey,
back then.
I'm back to it now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the nice thing about those threads is that you can find them again, like with Instagram, Facebook. Oh, let me show you this one post that's buried or archived or whatever. It's ridiculous. With forums, stuff was there. You could literally search for it and find it again, find comments. People could comment on things years later. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll stop yelling at clouds, and but we will tell you to get off our lawn, ladies and germs. If you're standing on our lawn, make sure to get off because get the fuck off our lawn.
Get off our
We got
lawn!
yeah, we got a lot of problems with you people, and we're gonna let you know. Ladies and germs, I think we're going to cut a little bit early today so that we can all go do our things. I think we're all busy. Flora is literally in his car on the way to somewhere. North Star, I'm sure, has things to do. So we're going to call it. Who wants to go first? You want to go first, Flora?
Yeah, I'll take off. I'll see you
Okay.
guys. I'll be on here what, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. I'll see you guys Saturday.
We'll see you.
All right, good seeing you, Joel.
See you then, Flora.
Take it easy,
See you,
bro.
Jimmy.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Oh
yeah, later, D.
Good seeing Flora as always, and of course me interrupting him as every single chance I can get. North Star, go for it.
All right, well, thanks for having me on.
Welcome.
Good to see you, D. Yeah, check me out. Try to find my Instagram again. If you really want to. Otherwise, check me out on the other classic forums and whatnot. Go hit up the website. We got all kinds of killer deals for December. Yeah, shit happens. Just put on a smile and make the best of it, and it should work out. Have a good one, everybody.
Cheers, North Star. Good to see you.
Gotta be positive.
Yeah. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to go follow his new IG, new old IG. It's
Yeah.
heartbreaking. Genetic supply _ I think he said. If we can remember, maybe we can post a link. D, go for it, buddy. Oh, we can't hear you, bud. You're muted. Cheers, North Star.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, Humidor, like always, for putting this all together. Don't forget to tune in Saturday for the takeover show on the Fumidoro channel. And before that, on my channel, the Digital Trash Bin pre-show. I get smell from you, Jimmy. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. We'll see you all on Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Pacific for the Fumidoro show.
Cheers, D.
Bye.
Nice. Now, let's not forget, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that these shows are all digital litter, obviously. Never mind, for example, the entire Newswax. That's a good name for them. Newsmax network. That's not digital litter. That's definitely high quality content for you. What else? Jake and Logan Paul. Obviously not digital litter. The entire Kardashian existence from the top to the bottom. That's not digital litter. This channel, ladies and gentlemen, this channel, this is the one that's digital litter. Please do remember. I would say the guy's name, but you'd have to remember him first. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys enjoyed the digital litter, rather. Sorry. Digital trash bin, I guess. I don't know. No, wait, a digital trash bin would assist because the litter needs to be put in a trash bin. We'll have to figure that metaphor out. Perhaps you can recommend, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, folks, for stopping by. I had been suggesting, or I was suggesting yesterday, a photo contest for Christmas. Didn't go over very well, honestly, so I didn't even think to bring it up today. I think, honestly, the YouTube community is kind of very passive these days. I don't think you guys want any kind of anything that even makes you lift out of your chair. In fairness, half of you are on the toilet anyway. So maybe I'll post it on Instagram, or maybe we'll just wait until the springtime. I don't know. It's frustrating to see how little movement there is in a positive sense in the cannabis community. You only really ever hear bad stories. At least I only ever hear bad stories like $500 million cannabis companies going out of business. All of that is arguably probably a good thing. But anyway, Dr. Leave You Alone. You're welcome to do a giveaway, Dr. Leave You Alone. Holy cannoli. Look at that. Blast from the past, Organic Soul Gardens. Good to see you. I was going to say yesterday or today, I can't remember. I was going to say, oh, it's so frustrating that we've lost so many of the best voices, the funnest voices from the show. I've been trying to think of how to get some of those folks back, or get a new version of that or something. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut this show short so I can go work on stuff that needs to get worked on. But good to see you, Organic Soul Gardens. Good to see Brain Dead. Funny, always a funny name there. J5 in the house. D Zombie, of course. Good to see him, one of the main moderators. Jones N2 Grow. He says, love our brand of shit. Rory Gardner, good to see you. Peace as well. Dankabus Kind, good to see you, buddy. Who else in here? Patricia Walker. Hope I said hello to you earlier, but if not, cheers to you as well. Jack Beanstalks hanging. Who else in here? Dr. DGC Jeff. Just finished eating, going outside. Thanks all. Oh, was funny. A couple commas there would make that a completely different sentence. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, who else in here? Dr. Leave Me Alone. CTC's hanging. He's in, I don't know, Gold Grills. We'll have to look that up. There's a couple other brands of grills that I'm not super aware of. There's another brand that a lot of people rave about on Reddit that seems to have a lot of features, but I noticed that the build quality doesn't seem to be super high. But I don't know. I don't have a direct experience. It just looks that way from pictures. Anyway, ladies and germs, I'm going to call it here. Good to see. Oh, love for the plant. Good to see you as well. Folks, cheers, everybody. Good to see everyone. And until we meet again, I guess it's going to be Takeover Saturday, right, D? Oh, he might have stepped away. Well, we're going
Yes, sir.
Oh, right on. Thank you, D. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, same bat time, not the same bat time as this show, but 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Saturday. I guess that's 10 Eastern. So check your schedules accordingly. And other than that, I will just very quickly show this story that I was going to talk about because I'll probably just forget to talk about it next time. But it reminded me of Christoph. This is from what place is this? This is from International CBC. Oh, there it is. International Cannabis Business Conference. So it's a little bit like Exxon sponsoring something, probably. But they say cannabis legalization would bring France nearly 3.4 billion euros in taxes and savings. And of course, they go on this whole story about well, cannabis in France, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see it, search for yourselves. It made me think of Christophe and some of our other friends from France. Hopefully France is able to actually legalize. They have medical and so on a little bit right now, but it's still yeah, not super open.
Oui.
Oui. No. Right now it's no. We want it to be oui, but it's actually no. Anyway, ladies and geraniums, we'll call it here. There's Pip Jam. Good to see Pip Jam, one of the other main moderators. Always a pleasure. A good friend over there. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll call it. Thanks very much for hanging. Thank you, Deep, for helping organize the cat herding that sometimes goes on here. And thanks so much. Exactly.